Kamala Harris, you may as well go bye-bye. She's got this book out, right? So this is kind of funny because she's about to go on this giant book tour, but she just got hit with a whammy. Donald Trump took away her security detail. You're only supposed to get it 6 months as a vice president. Presidents get it for life, but a vice president gets it for 6 months after office. And she was gearing up for this big book tour going to lots of cities, and it was going to be very expensive. Somehow, Joe Biden had snuck it in last minute. He decided to extend her Secret Service detail, which is really kind of abnormal. We don't know if it was him, frankly, right? Because we don't know what Joe did. It was the auto pen. The auto pen decided to extend Kamala Harris's Secret Service detail, perhaps knowing that she'd be going on this book tour. Oh, she's all excited about it. I don't know if she's going to be able to do it now, right? Here she is.
I must forget these. And make some room. Actually, I think I have everything I need.
You know, guys, part of her problem is that she just, look at all those cities, right? Birmingham. Oh, she was going all the way to London. They would have Secret Service in London. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, so quite some interesting timing on that one. Some people are going to say, oh, you know what? This is just a vendetta, this, that, and the other. You know, he's taken away Secret Service from a lot of people. Don't forget, Biden did this to him, right? He was out there trying to campaign, and he clearly needed it. And Biden was like, nope. They were scaling back. They were giving it all to Jill, Dr. Jill Biden, so she could go to a luncheon in some places. While scaling back on Donald Trump, who was actually the Republican nominee for the president of the United States. So he actually had a really legitimate, in addition to the fact that he's a former president. But Kamala Harris is now facing reality. I hope she makes a lot of money on that book because she's going to have to pay for the darn security, right? Or maybe she just won't do as big or as grand a tour. Joyce, thank you. It is good to see you guys all here. Wonderful to have so many people. You know, we are getting near a million right now on this channel, and it's just terrific. Yeah, Texas taking out the trash. You can say that again, Joyce. I get it. No more Jasmine Crockett in Texas. Totally redistricted there. And as for Kamala Harris, I realize she has political aspirations. She's decided she's not going to run for governor of California. Why? Because she has her sights set on the big stuff, on the Oval Office again. Has she? It's like sometimes I really wonder. I wonder about these people. Like, you know, I think I have a fairly healthy dose of sort of my own, you know, ability and this, that, and the other, right? Like, and I think that's important in life. We know what we're good at, we know what we're strong at, and we know what we're not so good at, right? Kamala Harris is not so good as a politician, and I mean that. I just look at her and I'm like, I can't talk, for goodness sakes. Do you know what you think? Do you? Really? And if you do know what you think, if you do know what your position is on something, then Kamala Harris, why can't you actually spit it out? I mean, isn't that kind of one of the prerequisites? Aren't you supposed to be a good communicator? She's not. She's a terrible communicator. She's a bad politician. And so she has aspirations of going all the way back to the White House again in the number one slot. It's not going to happen. So again, you know, Donald Trump's doing him a favor again. Texas doing the Dems a favor, getting rid of Jasmine, and perhaps Donald Trump is helping them by getting rid of Kamala Harris because, you know, he'd wipe the floor with her. As he already did, for goodness sakes. I mean, as he already did. Take a look at the article here in CNN saying former presidents receive Secret Service protection for life. Harris, as a former vice president, received 6 months, what'd I tell you, of protection after leaving office according to federal law. That period ended on July 21st. However, her protection had been extended for an additional year via a directive not made public until now, ladies and gentlemen. They tried to slip this one by you like they do everything. Good old Joey boy and his auto pen. Yeah, they tried to slip this by. He actually signed on for, what was it, an extra year he gave her? According to multiple people familiar with the undisclosed arrangement, this order was canceled by Donald Trump in a letter memorandum for the Secretary of Homeland Security. It was dated Thursday. Bye-bye, Kamala. You know what? It was up on July 21st. So you're going to have to do that book tour all on your own. You're going to actually have to hire some secret, or maybe you just don't do as big a book tour. I mean, there is this little thing called Zoom. Maybe you can just do some like Zoom meetings. Maybe you can get on YouTube. Oh no, that didn't go that well last time, right? Didn't you even have Oprah helping you out and it still like flopped massively? We get more people watching the Trish Regan show live than Kamala Harris had watching her Oprah Winfrey shindig. I mean, they even brought in Meryl Streep. Nothing helped because you know what? Kamala Harris is not a good politician. I go back to the days, you guys. Do you remember when she was first in the running and she was running against Joe Biden and she got up on stage at the debate and she started going for the jugular and she tried to corner him and she started saying, I was one of those little girls. I don't think she really was because she grew up in Canada, but she's talking about busing in California during the 70s or whatever. And she's like, I was one of those girls, this, that, and the other, and basically called him a racist right on stage. Well, that didn't go over well with a lot of hardcore Dems. And the next thing you knew, she was pulling out because, in New Hampshire, I don't even know if she had a showing. She might have come in last. Did nobody think, not for 2 seconds, that maybe you should have read the tea leaves way back then when you saw the numbers in New Hampshire and how disastrous they were, that people really didn't like her? And that there was no amount of money and celebrity factor that was going to change that. She does not have any of the je ne sais quoi that I talk about, that Donald Trump has in spades. Love him, hate him. I mean, he's kind of funny. I mean, what kind of guy is going to get up there and say, I'm sick of the light bulbs because I don't really like the lighting that they give off. I've been told they make me look orange. It's just like one after another, right? It could be a stand-up comedian. So Kamala does not have any of the comedic ability. She takes herself way too seriously. And then she doesn't have any original thoughts. I mean, I won't bore you with the word salad, but you've seen it over and over and over again. It's kind of funny until you realize that this woman could have been the actual president of the United States of America. And then you're like, well, wait a second, maybe it's not so funny. So she's losing her security detail at a very important time. I don't know if she can swing it. You guys are like, hey, maybe she's got some money. I've actually looked into her financial records. She doesn't have as much money as you'd think for somebody who's married to a guy who's like been a partner at a big tech law firm for this many years. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they get it in trust or something, so they hide it. Who knows? But she ought to be doing a little bit better. And I don't know if anybody's really hiring her for a speaking gig right now. Do you really want Kamala Harris for God knows what she's charging? I mean, let's just figure it out. Probably somewhere between 100 and 500K a speech. No. Because, by the way, don't forget, she can't speak. There is that little problem. I mean, maybe if you got a teleprompter, can she even read a teleprompter? I'm not so certain about that one either, guys. So Kamala Harris is Deadsville. You know what? You can thank Donald Trump later, Democrats, because it's high time you come up with a better candidate that might actually succeed. Thank you so much, Giovanna De La Rosa. Yes, I saw Gavin Newsom trying to say that California is not, he couldn't answer that question. Giovanna, you know what he did? He walked off the stage. He shut the whole press conference down because he's like, I can't believe, he can't answer the question. They got a real problem on their hands because when you say things like defund the police and the police are bad over and over and over again, and you don't invest in basic things like law and order, you're going to have the problem that you have in California. And she's part of that. The entire Democrat Party is part of it. Whether you go to Chicago, whether you go to DC, what do you know? Oh, we got the mayor of DC that's actually thanking Donald Trump right now, thanking him because he's helped to bring carjackings down 87% in the last 20 days. Like, they didn't even think this was possible. Well, guess what? You know what? With a little effort, it actually is, which has you saying, you know what? To heck with the Democrats. No wonder no one supports them right now. No wonder their brand is in the garbage, as our friend over at CNN, Harry Hinton, I kind of like this guy, likes to say. No wonder the Democrats are struggling so badly. I mean, they're looking at numbers that I don't think they've ever really seen quite recently. Because you're seeing so much success. I'm trying to see if I have the soundbite for you. I could play it because it's just so funny to watch. You've seen it before if you watch the Trish Regan show. By the way, I hope you watch the Trish Regan show. I hope you watch it. And I hope that you are making sure that you subscribe to it and that you share it and that you hit the bell so you know exactly when I am live here every single day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekend too. All right, so Kamala Harris, Bye-bye. No book tour. Too bad. I don't care. You're out of luck. So be it.